So, hi everyone, and welcome to the call. What would I like to create 2020 as? And I am so happy that you all have joined me in the call today. And this is one of my favorite questions to use, which is what would I like to create my life as? And every year, at the beginning of the year, I like to begin the year with this question: What would I like to create, whatever the year is as? So this year, as it is 2020, it is what would I like to create 2020 as? And this question has been really magical in what it has created for my life, what has shown up because of the question. So here's the thing about this question. You be this question. You don't ask this question and start looking for an answer. So what do you mean by be this question? By being this question, what I mean to say, just ask the question, don't look for an answer. And it's really difficult in the beginning, when you start asking questions, you're always looking for an answer because we've been trained from childhood to always look for answers. But, if you start training yourself to just be the question, just keep asking the question, what happens is that amazing doorways to possibilities start opening up for you. And the question literally becomes your doorway to creating things, actualizing things, and everything in between. It's really, really magical. Okay? So let's begin this conversation today, and let us begin this conversation with, healing for Australia. So, as I've been scrolling through my Facebook feed, there have been very interesting posts all over Facebook about Australia. So there are a lot of people who are going into very, very, very divisive points of views about things. There's a lot of stuff going on about blaming the government, blaming this, blaming that, attributing blame for all kinds of things. There have also been posts which have been asking for healing, posts, which have been asking for rain and so on in Australia. And what I would like to say over here is that, what if we have no point of view? Okay? What if we have absolutely no point of view? And what if, we were willing to contribute whatever was required from this space of no point of view? So one of the questions that I have been using a lot has been this question, and I've been sharing it in all my emails. I've been sharing the with this question. And the question is this: what would it take for this to turn out even greater than I have even considered? Okay? So what would it take for this to turn out even greater than I have even considered? Okay? And so one of the things that I actually started doing with this whole, thing with Australia, that I actually started asking this question. And the question is this: what would it take be like for the continent of Australia to be even more majestic than I have even considered? So the word majestic kind of has this energy of divinity in it. It's almost like the word is God-like. So what would it be like for the continent of Australia to be even more God-like than I have even considered? So, when I use the word God-like, I don't mean to kind of trigger people by using the God word, but you can put it as any other word that you connect with. It could be universe, or it could be infinite being, or source energy, or whatever it is. So I started being this question: what would it be like for the continent of Australia to be even more majestic than I have even considered? You know, I also use the question as, what would it be like for the continent of Australia to be even greater than I have ever considered? So both these questions is that I have no point about how that has to show up. I don't even have a point of view about what that has to be. All I know is that what is going to show up is going to be so much more than is right now in my, finite awareness, if that makes sense for you guys. Okay. So what if you could, be in this question? What would it be like? What would it be like to, for the continent of Australia to be even more majestic than I have even considered? And so what I would invite you all to do is, I'd like you to just close your eyes for a moment and just relax wherever you are, and take a few nice deep breaths inside. And what would it be like for the continent of Australia to be even more majestic than considered? And what would it take for the situation in Australia to be even greater than I have even considered? What would it take in Australia to be even greater than considered? What would it be like for the continent of Australia to be even more majestic than I have even considered? What would it be like for the situation in Australia to be even greater than I have considered? What would it be like for the continent of Australia to be even more majestic than I have even considered? And what would it take for the situation in Australia to be even greater than I have even considered? And can you perceive that energy which showed up? It's like, when we all become willing to let go of all our points of view and just be willing to contribute whatever is required by the earth, by the land, by all the sentient beings of the land, which are the trees, the plants, the animals, all the beings which are multidimensional, and all the beings who are the human beings as well. When we become willing to contribute to just creating more. This is the energy of it. And this question has been really so magical for me, and it's been so magical for everyone that I've been sharing it with. I've been using it in situation in my life, and in the emails, in my social media posts, I've been sharing the different ways in which I've been playing with this question. So let's repeat this a few more times. What would it be like for the continent of Australia to be even more majestic than I have even considered? And what would it take for the situation in Australia to be even greater than I have ever considered? And if anyone would like to speak at any moment, just press *2 and raise your hand so I will unmute you. Okay? And so now let us spread the energy, and let us contribute to the earth again. And there have been so many natural catastrophes that have been showing up on the earth. I read a post today about many earthquakes somewhere. I don't even remember the name of the place. Sorry about that. But what if every time you read something like that, or you heard it, or what if you could just be the question with it? What would it be like for the earth to be even more majestic than I have even considered? What would it be like for the earth to be even more majestic than I have even considered? So now in the chat, there are people who are asking for contribution for Iran. Let's have contribution for Iran and the US. There are also people who have asked for contribution to Portugal, and any other country or any other place on the earth that you would like to contribute to. You can just write that down. And now, what would it be like for the earth? Someone says Russia, India. Someone says, what would it be like for the earth to be even more majestic than I have even considered? What would it take for the situation you can put in the name of the country or the continent, to be even greater than I have even considered? So what would it take for the situation with USA and Iran, Portugal, Russia, India to be even greater than I have even considered? And you can just fill in the names of whatever countries that you would like to over here. What would it be like for all the upheaval on the earth to be even greater than I have ever considered? So we're not asking for the upheaval to be greater, but we are asking for something greater to show up from that upheaval. What would it be like for the earth to be even more majestic than I have even considered? What would it be like for the earth to be even more majestic than I have even considered? So, create this ball of energy of us. And let us put in the whole planet Earth there. You can also put in the name of the countries that you would like to. I get Venezuela, USA, Iran, the politics of the world, India, Portugal, Russia. Put everything into that. And now, and you can contribute energy in whatever form that you would like to. You can just like build up the contributed to the earth, or you could send energy in whatever form that you know. Okay, so what would it be like for the earth to be even more majestic than I have ever considered? What would it be like for the earth even more majestic than I have even considered? What would it be like for the earth to be even more majestic than I have even considered? What would it be like for the earth to be even more majestic than I have even considered? And now I have this beautiful question for the governments, for the politics. What would it be like for the governments of the planet to be even more benevolent than I have even considered? What would it be like for the governments of the planet to be even more benevolent than I have even considered? What would it be like for the governments of the planet to be even more benevolent than I have even considered? Wow, this question has so much charge over it, because the governments of the planet, are they benevolent? No, they're all only trying to do the best for themselves. They're trying to put down their oppositions, and it's always man eat man. It's the law of the jungle going on there, and this does not exist on the planet today. But what if every day we could get up in the morning and be these questions? I wonder what change that would create. So what would it be like for the governments of the planet to be even benevolent than I have even considered? What would it be like for the be even more benevolent than I have even considered? And what would it be like for the governments of the planet to be even more benevolent than I have even considered? Wow. What would it be like for the governments of the planet to be even more benevolent than I have even considered? And what would it be like for the governments of the planet to be even more benevolent than I have even considered? Like, one of the things that I've been observing on social media is the strong divisiveness which occurs. So, for example, just as an example, when you look at Trump, so you have the supporters of Trump, and then you have the people against Trump, and it's about this versus this. But what if you didn't look at any of that? And what if you were willing to ask for the greatest good or for the greatest thing to show up for your country, for your planet? And what if, neither of the parties had what the greatest was for your country or for the planet? And when we start asking for it, then you are actually awakening those individuals who could be the ones who contribute to the greatest. So, we all going, I'm just one person, how can I change the world? Well, you can change the world by choosing great. What for the governments of the planet to be even more benevolent than I have even considered? I mean, I would, I've been thinking, I would love to do a call called Benevolence in Governance, about, the governments and, how we as individuals can create that change there. And I'm really getting the energy of that very strongly. So I'll put that out very soon. And, let's have a conversation and let's create that change in the planet. So what would it be like for the governments of the planet to be even more benevolent than I have even considered? Wow, there's a lot of heavy energy here still. And it's literally, I'm not able to move away from this question. So let's run it a few more times. What would it be like for the governments of the planet to be even more benevolent than I have even considered? What would it be like for the governments of the planet to be even more benevolent than I have even considered? What would it be like for the governments of the planet to be even more benevolent than I have even considered? What would it be like for the governments of the planet to be even more benevolent than I have even considered? What would it be like for the governments of the planet to be even more benevolent than I have even considered? What would it be like for the earth to be even more majestic than I have even considered? And what would it take for the situation on the whole earth to be even greater than I have even considered? What would it be like for the governments of the planet to be even more benevolent than I have even considered? What would it be like for the government of the planet to be even more benevolent than I have even considered? And what would it be like for the governments of the planet to be even more benevolent than I have even considered? What would it be like for the governments of the planet to be even more benevolent than I have even considered? What would it be like for the governments of the planet to be even more benevolent than I have even considered? What would it be like for the governments of the planet to be even more benevolent than I have even considered? What would it be like for the governments of the planet to be even more benevolent than I have even considered? So let's allow this energy to run for the moment, and we will visit this a little bit throughout the call and keep contributing to it. And what else? Anything has been opening up for you? through this, just press star 2 to raise your hands and I will unmute you. Anyone like to share? Okay, cool. So let's move on then. So let's go to the call, which is what would I like to create 2020 as, and why are you in the perfect place? The point of this distinction is that I'm going to talk about the energetics of creation. We are going to look at creation through the lens of the UCL. UCL is a short form of the term Universal Calibration Lattice. So if you've been following me in the past couple of months, I've spoken about the Universal Calibration Lattice. I will speak about it more in the call today. So we are going to actually look at creation through the lens of the lattice. Okay? Now, I am going to offer something to you at the end of the call. And what I have to offer is really, really amazing. But even if you don't take me up on the offer, what I'm going to share with you through the call is going to blow up your paradigm. You're going to look at things in a different way. And at the end of the call, I will lead you through an energy session. So right now, we are going to do a little bit of journaling. And, whatever we journal, we are going to do an energy session for that so that you can actualize that in your life. So is this for you? This is for you if you would like to be as much of your holographic wholeness as you can be in the moment. This is for you if you're ready to embrace change and become a master of embracing joy. This is for you if you choose to be a conscious co-creator of your reality. And this is for you if you would like to be really good at communicating and receiving from the universe. So who am I and why you should listen to me? So if you don't know me, this is for you guys. So I facilitate people to activate their inner magic to create everything they desire in life better than they currently have and greater than they could have ever imagined. I've written 7 books, which are all international bestsellers, including The Money Circle. I have facilitated hundreds of clearing calls on money, including 100 calls on how to become money workbook. And I am the creator of programs Money-a-thon, Money Mastery, Abundance Through Gratitude, Money Follows Joy, and 10 Days of 100 Million. So that's my face because you can't see me. And so I'm an international best-selling author of 7 books. I'm also a balancing technique. I had a TV show on and I've been hosting telesummits since 2012. I've done about 9 of them so far. So that's a picture of my TV show. And that was me on the left on my TV show. Just a few fun pictures for you guys. I had long hair then. I just chopped off my hair recently. And these are all the books that I have published. Okay, so here is where we begin. What would I like to create 2020 as? Now, this is the starting point of everything. And I just saw the question which came in through the webcast, and let me see if I can find it. And I'm going to take that question and answer it. Okay. So she writes, I'm ready to do 2020. Only I have no idea where to begin or what I would like to create my life like or do. I'm stumped. I've asked over and over again. Okay, that's a great place to be in. Not knowing is a fantastic place to be in because from that place, you can receive everything. Unless you go, oh, I can't make out and I'm confused. And if you choose to remain in that, that's when you will cut off your awareness. Okay. So the best place to start is with this question. What would I like to create 2020 as? And don't look for an answer. Every day, wake up in the morning and go, what would I like to create 2020 as? And just let it go. Don't look for an answer. And if you do that every single day for the next 11 days, for the next 1 week, even 3 days, you will start to get different awarenesses, not just different awarenesses, different things will actually start to show up in your life. Okay. So, the universe will never give you your ducks in a row. What the universe does is it creates these possibilities for you and it sends you the clues. Have you ever played a treasure hunt? So you get the first clue, and when you read the first clue, you have to reach the spot where you find the second. The second clue will lead you to the spot to the third clue, and so on. So literally, the universe functions in that way. So what are the clues that the universe is sending you? So what if you picked up anything and you started following the trail? You might go to a dead end somewhere and you go, oh, never mind, I reached the dead end. And then wait for another clue because the universe will always send you a clue. The universe is not going to sit there and go, oh, I sent her the clue and she didn't follow it. If you don't follow the clue, the universe will send it to you again and again and again. You know that thing say that, time and tide waits for no man. That's a big fat lie. Because the tide, guess what? The hand on the clock goes around the circle and comes back to the same point. The tide comes in at a particular time, goes out at a particular time of the day. So everything keeps coming and going. Everything is in a cycle. And so even the possibilities that the universe is sending your way are going to keep coming again and again and again until you choose. Okay? So wake up every day in the morning and go, what would I like to create 2020 as? Okay? And we are now I'm going to share with you some of the fun things that we can do to actually start creating. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at 8 general areas for change. Okay? And a lot of times what I've done is in the past, I've used Feng Shui and I've used the Bagua map to find the areas of life and start, kind of mapping out those areas. But today I've not used the Bagua map. Today I've used the 8 areas which have been given by Mike Dooley. So if you don't know Mike Dooley, he is the guy who writes those beautiful notes from the universe. He has this units which come out like 5 days a week, and I absolutely adore them. And these are the 8 general areas that Mike Dooley has shared. And let me share these areas with you. So the first area is happiness. So please write this down. Write it on a piece of paper. Happy, and leave some space underneath it, because then you can fill up, under these areas. The second one is health. Number 3 is love. So love could also be like relationship or romance or partner, whatever it is. And I would suggest to you is don't get triggered by any of these words. Just get the general sense of what each of these words signifies, like what aspect of your life these words signifies. I've just used the words which Mike Dooley has shared. just because, I thought, let me do something different this year. Every year I use the Bhagwan map, and this year I wanted to do something different. So I chose these general areas as defined by Mike Dooley. Friendship could also be people who are supportive of you, people who have your back in your life. The next one is creativity. The next one is spirituality. Spirituality or personal growth. You can look at it in whichever way you want. The next one is adventure. And the next one is abundance. Okay? So these are the 8 areas. And so what I would like you to do is take 2 minutes, and under each one of these, you can write 1 or 2 things that you would like to create and play with in the year 2020. So just go ahead and do that. And meanwhile, I will just scroll through the Q&A and see if there is anything that anybody would like to say. Okay. So write down a few things about what you would like to have in each one of these areas, like maybe 1 or 2 or 3 things, whatever you like. And you can choose to skip some of the areas, and you can choose to just write in one area. That's fine. Basically, in this call, I will kind of show you my process of playing with things, and then you can apply it to any area. So out of everything that you have written down, I would like you to choose just one thing. So one thing that you would like to create or change or actualize in the year 2020, take one aspect of your life. It could be happiness, it could be health, it could be creativity, it could be adventure, it could be whatever. So just choose one thing, okay? And now we are going to look at it of the lattice. So are you guys done? Can I move on? Just let me know in the chat or in the Q&A box if I can move on. Okay. Can someone please let me know on the chat? Yes. Okay, great. Thanks, Tanya. Okay. So now let's move ahead and let's see what else. So let us look at creation through the lens of the lattice. Okay. So what do I mean by this? So I'd like to introduce you to the idea of the universal calibration lattice. So the universal calibration lattice is a system in our energy anatomy. And just like, we have many different systems in our physical body, like you have your skeletal system, you have your circulatory system, you have your nervous system. In the same way, you have many different systems in your energy body. And one of the systems is called as the universal calibration lattice. Now, this system looks like this. Okay, so can you see the picture on the screen? This is how the universal calibration lattice looks. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper in the universal calibration lattice, but this is just like an overview of the universal calibration lattice. Now, this was discovered by Peggy Phoenix Dubrow, and she discovered this 31 years ago. And for 31 years, she has been working with and she has been researching the universal calibration lattice. And everything that I'm going to share with you today is all coming from the work of Peggy Phoenix Dubrow. So this is another view of the universal calibration lattice. The universal calibration lattice is electromagnetic in nature. It surrounds and permeates our bodies. All our chakras or energy centers are connected to the lattice, and we can calibrate or strengthen our own UCL or lattice. So this is another picture of the universal calibration lattice. Can you see the central column of energy, like this, this rod of energy which is passing through the body, the golden rod of energy? That is your core energy. That is who you are at the core of your being. And when you see these colored dots on that rod of light, those are all the chakras. Those are chakras or the energy centers. And if you see these figure 8 loops, which go, 8 loops connect the chakras to these, long informational fibers, which are, forming that oval shaped structure of the lattice. So see here clearly, here you can see more clearly that to these fibers of light forming the outer periphery of the lattice. Now, why am I showing you all this? Because we are going to work with this structure today. Okay, this is a close-up view of how the lattice looks like. So can you see these curved long fibers of light? So there are actually 24 such fibers of light. And in today's session, we are going to work with these fibers of light as we work with the energy of creation. Okay? And I will talk a little bit more about this in a moment. So this is another view of the lattice, which is showing you a close-up of how the infinity loops are connected to the chakras and then connected to the fibers of light. Okay, so now we come to the actual journaling work, and this is called the SOFI. The SOFI is the statement of focused intent. Okay, SOFI, S-O-F-I, statement of focused intent. And side, this is the universal calibration lattice, and on the left hand side, this is kind of like an overhead view of the universal calibration lattice. And looking at this image, this is more, you're going closer to the overhead view. And this one finally gives you the top view of the universal calibration lattice. So if you were to look at someone right from above their head, this would how the universal calibration lattice would appear. So does this remind you of something? Yes, it does. It reminds you of this play sheet that I shared with you today. So I hope all of you have a printout of the sheet. And even if you don't have a printout of the sheet, it's okay. You can just draw this figure on a piece of paper. But I would recommend that you draw it on a bigger piece of paper, because we are going to write all over this and we are going to do journaling all over this. Okay? Now, the first thing that I would like you to do is I would like you to write down these numbers within the petals of the lattice, within the loops of the lattice. Just write down the numbers. and then I will tell you what we are going to do with the numbers. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the chat, or you can ask me in the Q&A box, or you can just press *2 and I will unmute you if you have any questions. Okay. So if you all have written down the numbers, now here is what I want you to do. You have already selected one thing that you're going to play with on this chart, okay? And so what you're going to do on number 1 is you write down what is it that you would like to create. What is it that you would like to create or actualize? Now you can write it in the form of a question. You can write it like, what would it take for me to create this? Or what would it take for me to actualize this? Or what would it be like for me to create this? Or what would it be like for me to actualize this? So that's what you're going to write on number 1. Or you can also use it in the form of the other question that I shared. What would it take to show up even greater than I have even considered? So that is what you write on number 1. So for example, if it is something to do with your job, so what would it take? So if you would like to create a new job, so what would it take for a new job to show up that is even greater than I have ever considered? Or if it's to do with money, what would it take for my income to be greater than I have even considered? Or what would it take for my financial reality to be even greater than I have considered? If it's to do with angst in some relationship, so what would it take for this relationship to be even greater than I have considered? Okay, so as you look at this figure, the square in the center is like your head. So imagine that you're standing there. Okay, so number 1 is the area of your lattice in front of you. Okay, so can you see this figure? Can you see these 3 fibers of light in front, which are connected by these infinity loops? Those 3 fibers are actually the number 1. So at number 1, in front of you, there are these 3 fibers of light. And in these 3 fibers of light, you have these discs. And inside these, all your asks, your requests, everything that you would like to actualize, you're putting into these discs of light, and you're placing it in the fibers in front of you. So number 1 is your future. So what is in front of you? Your potential, your future. Okay. Now, if you look at number 3, what is in front of you? If it is your future, number 3 is what is behind you. Okay. And what is behind you is your past, your history. Okay. So now you look at whatever your ask is in number 1. Okay. So say you're asking to have an income that is even greater than you have ever considered. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to look at your past. I want you to look at your history. So what you have in the past, okay? What you have in the past is your own personal history from this lifetime. You also have your history from other lifetimes, and you also have the history of your lineage. You have the history of your family. So all this is in number 3, which is behind you. So when you look at history, what are some of the things in your history which will support you in creating what you are asking for? For example, you want to ask for more money. So what is there in your history which supports you in creating that? So for example, if you come from a family of business people, and if you've had people in your family who have been really successful business people, that part of your history is supporting you in, when you ask for more money, right? So that is part of your history which is supporting you. Now there is also a part of your history which is not supporting you, which is actually pulling you down, right? So for example, if you've had family who've had successful businesses and then lost their businesses, so that part of the history is not actually supporting you when you ask for more money. Does that make sense to you guys? Right? So what I want you to do is I want you to write down things that support you and things that pull you down. You're going to write down both. Now remember, I'm going to do an energy session on this. Right now, we are just mapping your entire, we are looking at creation through the lens of the lattice. So we are looking at the different parts of the lattice, and I'm describing to you what is stored in these different parts. And once we have mapped out your entire lattice on the Sophie chart, then we are going to do an energy session on it. So on number 3, I want you to write down whatever from your history is supporting you, whatever from your history is not supporting you. Now, what you also have in your history is talents and abilities or capacities. So these could be talents and abilities and capacities that you have in this lifetime. It could be talents and abilities and capacities which are coming to you from some other lifetime. So for example, in some other lifetime, you were a brilliant mathematician. And in this life, you've always found it really easy to do math. It was just like a breeze to go through all math, and you do really well. So this is a talent and ability and a capacity that you have, which is coming to you from your history. So this is something that is supporting you. And maybe, this is a capacity that can create money for you. So you are under support. Now, look at number 2. Number 2 is on the right of you. Number 4 is on the left of you. So number 4 is what we are receiving. So we receive from the left side. And number 2 is what you are giving. Okay? So number 2 is what you are giving. Number 4 is what you are receiving. So on number 2, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to write down the actions that you have to take in order to create number 1. The actions that you have to take in order number 1. So if you're not very clear what actions you have to take, you can just guess what actions you might have to take. So for example, if you have written in number 1 that you would like to have, a majestic body, okay? So in number 2, some of the actions that you might have to take is that you might, go in for physical fitness. So you might choose to move your body in a certain way. You might choose to make food choices that are contributing might also be called to go in for maybe like an Ayurvedic detox, or maybe go to a homeopath, or go and receive some energy work or something like that. So these are all the actions that you have to take. Now, here's the thing. Don't go into this thing of, oh, I don't want to take these actions. Remember, we are just mapping this out. We are just writing out what is required. And then as we do the energy work on this, all the things that you resist and all of that is going to just kind of, it's going to calibrate out. It's going to change. This is why we are using this way of looking at things. So on number 2, write down all the actions that you have to take. Tanya is asking, is it matching the changes or is this new? So Tanya, I'm not sure what your question is. Can you ask in a different way, please? Okay. So number 2 is all the actions that you have to take. Now, look at number 4. Number 4 is receiving. Okay. So number 4, write down what would you have to receive in order to actualize number 1. So what do you have to receive in order to actualize number 1? So for example, number 1 is to create a majestic body. Okay. And in number 2, one of the actions is making food choices that work for your body. So in number 4, what you would have to receive is the awareness of the food choices that your body requires. So like, since you are asking, the universe might give you this awareness that, right now your body would like to have more live food, more food that has more vibrational input into it. And so you might be guided to eat some of those high vibration foods like spirulina, or some of those high vibration foods like that. Okay. So receiving the information about that, or what else do you have to receive in order to create number 1? Okay, that is number 4. Okay, so you guys are clear on 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we're going to look at 5, 6, 7, and 8. So 5, 6, 7, and 8 are the attributes of mastery, or the energies that would contribute to you actualizing number 1. Okay. So what are some of the energies that would contribute to you actualizing number 1? Okay. And I'm going to kind of say some of the energies aloud, and you could just, write down the ones that kind of sparkle for you. And then from those words that sparkle, you can choose some of the energies, or if you already are clear on what energies you require, you could just go in for those. Okay. So I'm just going to read out some of the energies. So the one is creativity. Creativity, forgiveness, transformation, openness, freedom, courage, flexibility, initiation, humor, integrity, trust, commitment, enlightenment, knowledge, peacefulness, power, integration, harmony, love, stillness, purity. There are so many energies. There are 44 of these attributes of mastery that we work with when we do work on the universal calibration lattice. So I'm just reading out all these energies. Just note down the ones which sparkle for you, and then you can select 4 of those. Focus, intuition, self-acceptance, understanding, security, wisdom, discernment, mindfulness, insight, balance, respect, generosity, communication, humility, joyfulness, compassion, gratitude, neutrality, patience. So these were like the energies, and you can just select one of these, or you can just, have your own energies that you would like to give it. So write down 4 energies. Down 4 energies that you would like, that will contribute to you in the creation and actualization of number 1. Okay. So have you all completed this? Can we move on from here? If you have any questions, you can press *2 to raise your hand, or you can send it in via the Q&A box, or okay, I don't see any questions in the chat also. Nobody. Can we move on from here? So let me just recap this. So number 1 is the area in your universal calibration lattice, which is in front of you. So these are the 3 fibers of light in front of you. And over here, encoded in the discs of light, you are planting your asks, your desires, your creations. You are putting these in fibers of light in front of you. Number 3 is your history. And in your history, you have these discs of light. And in these discs of light is information about your history, which supports you in creating 1, or which could pull you down in creating number 1. It's all stored in the fibers of light which are behind you. Then on number 2 is the action that you are taking. What action do you have to take? Because, it's it's the balance between the being and the doing. Who do you have to be and what action do you have to take? So whatever are the actions you require to take, they come on number 2 on the right. Number 4 on the left is what would you have to receive in order for you to create and actualize number 1. Okay, so that is number 4 on your left. 6, 7, and 8, these are the you can play with, which will contribute to you actualizing number 1. So you can select whatever energies that you would like over here. It could be one of the energy, it could be 4 of the energies from everything that I read, or you could have your own. It could be like number 5 could be, for example, appreciation. Number 6 could be allowance. Number 7 could be creation, and number 8 could be vulnerability. Just choose any energies that would contribute to it. Number 8 could be generosity of spirit. It could be the kingdom of we. It could be any of these. Okay, so that is what is required here. Okay, so in this way you can take anything that you would like to create and you can map it out on this Sophie chart. Okay, now once you have mapped it out on the Sophie chart, it becomes really clear to you. Okay, these are the actions that I have to take, and then as you look at those actions, you can go, oh, I'm resisting taking these actions, or whatever it is. Number 4 is, this is what I have to receive, and so am I willing to receive it? Am I resisting the receiving of it? So what starts to get a lot of clarity about what you are asking for and what could be some of the things that are stopping it from actualizing. Now, at the end of the session, we are going to go through an energy experience in which you will be able to change all these dynamics within this Sophie chart. You will be able to change the energy of resistance. You will be able to move the energy in such a way that everything starts supporting you in the actualizing of what you are asking for, which is number 1. Okay, now, so at the end, I will lead you through an energy session to calibrate your lattice and the Sophie to co-create 2020. So we've only worked on one aspect of 2020. You can create multiple charts like this, okay, on your own. Now, what do you require for creation? I ask you this question. What do you require for creation? Anyone? I feel like I'm talking to myself. Come on, guys, you have to respond. Type in the chat, just press *2 and I will unmute. Come on, let's have a conversation. What do you think? Okay, so who's the brave one? Yay! Hi, what do you require for?
Hi, am I heard?
Hello.
This is Sasha. Hi.
Yes, I can hear you. Hi.
Well, one of
Hi.
them was courage, was the energy of courage. That was the first one.
Okay, fantastic. Fantastic, fantastic. What else?
Well, the 4 that I chose were courage, trust, humility, and what was the other one? Commitment.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I'm curious, why courage?
Well, it's about actualizing a project that I've written, and it's I don't even know where to start. I will have to get a lot of help, and asking for help isn't my strong suit. So sharing what I've done, sharing what what my sort of my insides with people who may or may not approve, may or may not think it's any good, may or may not be willing to help. It's a scary proposition for me.
So is it that thing about stepping into the unknown?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like walking, totally where no paths exist. You're going on. You're going as no paths.
Yeah.
As it were.
I'm
and so you're
wandering off into the dark. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Fantastic. Fantastic. Thanks.
Who am I? Okay. Thank you.
The idea of who am I? Go ahead.
I
think that's a really big one for a lot of people.
Yeah. That who am I to think that I can do this? That it's like, how do I even come close to thinking that I can make this happen?
Yeah. Oh my God. Isn't that a biggie? And how many people do you think have that? How many people do you think have that? I'm sure you're the only one. Nobody else has that, right? Fantastic. Thank you so much, Carrie, for sharing this.
Thank you.
Okay. So, yeah. All right. So, how you could actually identify with what she had to say, and it was like, oh my God, yeah, that's totally me. Like, yeah, I have to step out into the unknown, and I have to walk down a path where no path exists right now, right? And the other one is like, who am I? How can I be so arrogant to think that I can do this or whatever that may be, right? So yeah, absolutely, totally. So remember, I said we are going to look at creation. So what I've done on that chart is I've actually given you how your energy is mapped out and how the creation is being affected by your energy, right? So if you have something in history which is pulling you down, then your creation is being pulled down. If you have something in your history which is supporting you, your creation will support you in that. Okay? Now, if you have something on your right, some of the actions that you have to take to which you are resisting, that energy exists in your lattice, that energy of resistance already exists in your lattice, and it will not allow you to actually take those actions. If there is if there is something on the left that you have to receive which you are resisting, that energy of resistance also exists on your lattice, which will stop you from receiving that. Like, how many times have you had this experience of, you go to, you're almost there. That job, I've almost got the job. They're really after me. They really want it. And then, they're really, really, really warm. And then one fine day, they just go cold. There is no more communication, nothing. You communicate with them. They don't receive. It's just gone, right? So that is you. That is the energy in your lattice which is stopping you from actually receiving that. Okay. So this is like, when you write down things on your Sophie chart, you realize, where the energy blockages are there in your energy system. Okay, so again, let's come back to this question of what do you require for creation? What you require for creation is be more of who you are. And today I'm going to open up this sentence in a totally different way for you. So how many of us have actually heard this sentence over and again? And we go, oh yeah, be more of who I am. And then you go, I don't have a clue what that is. I don't know how to be that. I don't know how I can be that or whatever, How many times have we gone to that, be more of who you are? So today, I'd like to explain this sentence to you through the lens of your lattice. Okay? So your universal calibration lattice is is a system in your energy anatomy. And your universal calibration lattice is connected to the universal energy. Okay? Now, we all have heard the concept of the infinite being. All of us know that we are infinite beings. But when we are existing on this planet, most of the time we don't exist as an infinite being. We exist as a finite being. Okay? So the finite being that I am and my universal calibration lattice that I have. Okay? Now, if I start to draw in more and more energy from the universal energy source into my universal calibration lattice, what starts to occur is I start to become more and more infinite. So when I say be more of who you are is an infinite being. So when I actually move the energy around my lattice, when I open up aspects of my lattice, when I strengthen my lattice so that I can hold more and more energy in my own universal calibration lattice, I'm becoming more of who I am, and more of who I am is the infinite being. The infinite being is that multi-dimensional aspect of me. Okay? So be more of who you are. So how can you be more of who you are? You can be more of who you are by calibrating your lattice. By calibrating your lattice, by strengthening your lattice, by receiving more and more energy into your lattice. So when you receive more energy into your lattice, it is called as calibrating your lattice. When you open up aspects of your lattice so that you can receive more energy, it is called calibrating your lattice. When you strengthen your lattice so that you can receive more energy, it is called calibrating your lattice. So I'm going to use this word a lot now, and that's why I wanted to introduce this word to you right now. So do you remember in the previous slide, I shared something. At the end, I will lead you to an energy session to calibrate your lattice and the Sophie, because the Sophie is nothing but your lattice. So what we are going to do is we are going to calibrate the lattice so that you can co-create what you are asking for. Okay? So what do you require for creation? You would like to be more of who you are, and who you are is the infinite being, that multi-dimensional being that you are. And in order to do that, you require to calibrate your lattice. Now, the next question is, how do you calibrate your lattice? Okay, so I would like to present to you a year of calibration celebration. So this is my year-long program, which is called a year of calibration celebration. And this is a graceful, elegant, and sophisticated form of energy work. It is pure energy work. There is no verbal processing, no clearing, nothing of that. It is just energy work. It is a series of energy sessions designed to work with the universal calibration lattice, which is the system in the human energy anatomy. And each session is designed to strengthen the universal calibration lattice. So every time we do a session on you, it strengthens the universal calibration lattice. You will receive specific activations and alignments to accelerate your personal growth and the expression of your most benevolent energies. In our time together, you will experience and embody more of the own energy of you, the infinite being you are. These are all important steps along your path of personal growth, enhancing your ability to live life energetically aware. The sessions are the pathways to a balanced, empowered, new understanding of personal, collective, and universal consciousness. So we began this whole session with healing for the planet. So, and then we went to the Sophie, which is your personal. So we are impacting your personal consciousness, your collective consciousness, which is the earth right now, and also universal consciousness, because all the change that occurs on the earth, it also reflects on the universe. Your lattice is radiating more energy, more life, and you are ready to know and become even more of who you are. This is an auspicious time for humanity to live with greater energetic awareness. There are many in our global family of humanity who are ready for this new way of communicating. And as always in this series, we will activate, co-create, and resonate in the energy of infinite love, or the energy of the Creator. So what exactly is this year calibration celebration? So we will work together over a period of 12 months, and you will receive 3 sessions every month. So you are going to receive a total of 36 unique group calibration sessions. So if you wait till the end of the call, I'm going to lead you through a calibration session so that we will to co-create whatever you are asking for. So that will give you a taste of what you are going to receive in these 36 unique group calibration sessions. So every month you will receive 3 sessions. This will be a completely group calibration. Per year you will receive 36 unique group calibration sessions. You will also receive a bonus of 3 calibration sessions, and all these sessions are group sessions. So totally 36 plus 3, 39 unique group calibration sessions. So let's look at what this journey is going to be like over the next 12 months. Every month of January, you have phase 13, which is called as the way of the evolutionary. The Sophie chart that I have presented to you today is part of the phase 13. And if you have attended one of my previous webinars, which was Co-Create Your Most Enlightened Life, in which I spoke about the energy work of phases 1 to 13 of the EMF balancing technique. This is the phase 13 from it. So in phase 13, create a chart which is exactly the same with you today. And then we go through a series of 13 patterns to calibrate the energy in that chart. So obviously what I share with you today at the end of the call is just like a tiny taster of it. Phase 13 is a 60 to 90 minute session. So, and it is called as the way of the evolutionary. If you would like to get a taste of all the 12 phases of the EMF balancing technique, you have phase 13. The next session is called the heart of the universal human. This picture that you see over here, these are the 4 energy centers, which is the high heart center, the throat center, the third eye, the crown center, and then there is another energy center, which is the heart center and the solar plexus. So in the center of each of these chakras, you have a heart, and together these 6 energy centers, they form the heart of the human activation. So in every session, what happens is that I work on your universal calibration lattice, opening up these areas of the universal calibration lattice so that you can receive more energy, so that you multi-dimensional being that you are. So this is like the energy work for you to become more of who you are. And each one of these sessions is opening you up to receiving more and more energy, opening up your energy field at different points so that you can receive more energy. And each of the parts of the lattice where you receive more energy are connected to very specific things. The third session in the month of January is from the Universal Energy of Money Master Activation Series. So literally we are going to go through and activate in your energy field so that you open up to receiving more money. This is the month of January. So this is the 3 different sessions in the month of January. In February, you have the Universal Energy of Money Master Activation Series. You have sessions 2 to 4. So there are 4 sessions of the Universal Energy of Money Master Activation Series. So in January, you will receive 1 session. In February, you will receive 3 sessions. So these are the 4 sessions of the Universal Energy of Money Master Activation Series. In March, you have the Universal Calibration Lattice Evolve, the 8 Gates Master Activation Series. So the 8 gates are the 8 galaxies of energy which are located in your energy field. So we have actually 144 gates in our energy field. But in these 3 sessions that you will receive, we are going to activate or open up 24 gates throughout our universal calibration lattice. I've been doing these sessions on myself, all of these sessions on myself every day for almost like 40 to 50 days now. And since I've actually started doing these sessions, everything in my life has changed. My business has completely changed. Like one of the first things clear about what I wasn't resonating with anymore. And literally all those things just dropped away. And then what opened up for me was what I was resonating more with. And I started doing more of that. And I've had so much change and shift in my business. That's what the first thing showed up. The second thing is so clear. Like there are so many things I can look at and I can go, oh, that's nice, that's really good, but that's not for me. away from being wishy-washy about things to having, total clarity about things. Like, whatever the names of these sessions are, don't really get, caught up in the words of that. Basically, each one of these sessions is opening of your lattice to receive more and more energy, and those area, and what it does is that it kind of ignites these geometric patterns within your lattice. And as these geometric patterns ignite, these patterns contain energy and information. And this information then starts being translated as usable knowledge. And you will start to get these awarenesses and insights, and things will just start to open up for you. Okay? In the month of April, we have Evolutionary Ascension Spiraling Up. You have 3 sessions of that. In the month of May, you have the Lattice Evolves Again, Core Wisdom and Freedom Spirals. So this, we are working with the fibers of light that I was just talking about. Then in June, you are a universal bridge of grace. In this, we actually work with the endocrine system in our whole body. So Peggy talks about the hormones which create the chemical changes in our body, which are making us or opening us up to these new energies that are available to us. So you go through working through your entire body to create the calibration here. Universal Presence is sessions, again 4 sessions. So you will have 3 sessions in July, and you will have 1 session in August. So in August, Universal Presence, Universal Mind Fusion. So don't go into that thing of mind fusion. It means, fusing with the energy of the universe so that you can have more. Universal Diplomacy in September, and then October, November, and December, we are working with the I Phoenix energy. And I Phoenix is these rings of energy which are around your head. There are 144 rings of energy around your head, and there are 12 sessions of the I Phoenix. So you will receive 3 sessions in October, 3 in November, and 3 in December, and you will receive an additional 3 sessions, which is a bonus, in the month of January. So 39 sessions in all. Over the period of 13 months, you're going to receive 3 sessions every month, and it is just phenomenal. So what you will receive is 12 months, 3 sessions every month. So totally 39 unique calibration sessions over a period of 13 months. Okay. These are some of the patterns of light and energy which get activated through your lattice as you are going through these calibration sessions. The sessions set a resonance and deliver a message of strength and wholeness to the recipient of the session. The receiver of the session always responds to this resonance according to his or her own unique wisdom. Each session addresses the very core of the individual, and it is an invitation to grow to the next level of wholeness or holiness. So here are a few testimonials that I have received from people who have worked with me with sessions. Okay, I'm not going to read them out. I'm just going to go over it really fast. So here's what is included. There are 11 series that we work with and a total of 39 sessions. The Way of the Evolutionary, Heart of the Universal Human, the Universal Energy of Money Master Activation Series, 4 sessions in that. The Universal Calibration Lattice Evolves, 8 Gates Master Activation Series, 3 sessions. Evolutionary Ascension Spiraling Up, 3 sessions. The Lattice Evolves Again, wisdom and freedom spirals, 3 sessions again. You are a universal bridge of, hold on. This is 3 sessions again. Universal presence, 4 sessions. Universal fusion, 2 sessions. Universal diplomacy, 3 sessions. And I Phoenix, the balancing, 12 sessions. So totally 39 sessions in all. So 36 sessions plus 3 bonus sessions, 11 series. This is what you will get in this year of calibration celebration. 3 sessions every month for 12 months. We're going to meet every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. my time, which is 6:30 a.m. Pacific time. It is 2:30 p.m. UK time, 5:30 p.m. Europe time, and 8 p.m. India time. So every Tuesday for the next 13 months, not every Tuesday, 3 Tuesdays a month, we're going to meet and you're going to receive a session. The value is 3,900 and let's go. This is not verbal clearing or processing. It is 39 different energy patterns that are traced through our energy field or lattice. And, you know, I'm not going to charge you really exorbitant for this. What price I'm going to offer you today, it's available for 5 days. It's an early bird price. After that, the price goes up. So you're going to get 3 sessions every month. And right now you can get it for 12 payments of $111 every month, or 6 payments of $211, or 1 payment of $1,111. I really did a lot of repetition with this, isn't it? And we start this journey next week. So we started on Tuesday. I don't exactly remember the date of Tuesday, but we started on Tuesday. And for the next 3 Tuesdays, we are going to do phase 13, Heart of the Universal Human, and the first session of the Universal Energy of Money Master Activation. Then first 3 of every month we are going to meet and we are going to have these calibration sessions, and it is available for you at these prices: 1 payment of 1,111, 12 payments of 111, or 6 payments of 211 per month. And now, since you all have been really patient and listened to whatever I have to say, let us do the energy work on your lattice. So are you ready? Are you ready to work on your lattice? Let's say yes in the lattice. Patience, gratitude, commitment, knowledge. Okay, great. So let us begin with the energy work. Okay. So what I would like you to do is sit with your feet firmly on the floor, and please don't close your eyes if you are driving or operating machinery, for example, right? So just sit with your feet firmly on the floor, and I am going to be starting with the energy work. Okay? Now, take a nice deep breath and relax. Take another deep breath and relax even more. And now, feel imagine or think about the energy center below your feet, 24 inches feet. Energy center, your connection with the earth. Now feel, sense, imagine or think about the energy center above your head, 24 inches above your head. And this center is your connection with the universe. And connecting these two energy centers is this central column of light called the core energy. Now direct your energy to flow down and connect with your center below, 24 inches below your feet. Connected to the earth. Now feel, sense, imagine or think about your energy flowing up and connecting with the energy center above your head, center above, open and connected. And now focus on your core energy, the central column of light and energy, and radiate your core energy. And feel, sense, imagine or think about your core energy radiating out through your entire universal calibration lattice and your entire universe as you know it. Now focus your attention on 3 fibers of energy that are behind you. And give the intent to calibrate those energies that no longer serve you at this moment. And also give the intent to activate those energies that support you so that your history becomes a column of self-direction and self-support. Can you feel the movement of energy at the back of you as your history calibrates into this column, gleaming column of self-direction and self-support? Now focus your attention on the 3 fibers of light to your right. Who or what can you be? And who and what actions can you take? What inspired actions can you take in the co-creation of your most enlightened life? Feel the energy calibrating in the 3 fibers on your light, on your right. Gifting. Now feel, sense, imagine or think about the 3 fibers on your left. And in this moment, perceive, hold your hands palms up, one on the right, one on the left. Perceive the energies in both the palms. Are the energies in these palms equal? When the energies in both the palms are equal, there is a balance in the gifting and receiving. You can move your hands up and down until you feel a balance of energies in both your hands. Give the intent to calibrate the 3 fibers on the left so that there is a balance in the gifting and the receiving. Are you willing to receive And are you willing to gift? And now put both your hands on your heart center. Take a nice deep breath now and relax your hands. And now focus your attention on your heart center, in the center of your chest, loving. And just below it, focus your attention in your solar plexus center. This is between your navel and your rib cage, your solar plexus center. The center which is the sense of self. When you are in that question of who am I to think that this can work for me, this is the center. So solar plexus, allowing the energy to calibrate in your solar plexus and allowing your sense of self to strengthen. And ask the energy to radiate from your solar plexus center. I remember I am. I remember I am. I remember I am. Now feel, sense, imagine, or think about the 3 fibers of energy in front of you. And now in these 3 fibers of energy, you can put in all your asks, all your intents, everything that you are asking for, put them like seeds of light in the 3 fibers in front of you. And let us give the intent to calibrate the energy within these fibers so that you start resonating with the resonance of what you are asking for. And now focus your attention on your solar plexus, and through your solar plexus connect to the field of potential in front of you. And now focus on your creative center and your base center at the base of your spine in front of you, and connect to your field of potential in front of you from your creative and your base center. Now focus your attention on your heart center and connect to the field of potential in front of you. Once again, center below, center above, radiate core energy. Now, focus on the first attribute of mastery that you have chosen. I support the achievement of my intention by amplifying the attribute of whatever that attribute is with my focused energy. Center below, center above, radiate core energy, and radiate that attribute of mastery throughout your entire being. Now put your attention on the second attribute of mastery that you chose to work with in this session. Center below, center above, radiate core energy, and radiate the second attribute of mastery through my entire universal calibration lattice. Center below. Now focus upon the third attribute of mastery that you selected during your session. Center below, center above, radiate the third attribute of mastery through my entire universal calibration lattice. Now focus upon the fourth attribute of mastery. Center below, center above, radiate core energy, radiate the fourth attribute of mastery. Now take a nice deep breath and put your attention on your feet. And become aware of the energy of the center below. Become aware of the movement of the energy from your feet to the center below, from the center below to your feet. I walk the planet with, and say the four attributes of mastery that you have chosen in this session. So, if the attribute is, So I walk the planet with patience, gratitude, commitment, and knowledge. I walk the planet with magic, trust, commitment, and joy. I walk the planet with joyfulness, humor, enlightenment, and self-acceptance. And take a nice deep breath. Put your hands on your heart. And then hold your hands out and connect with every person who is on the call right now and in the future. And form this circle of energy. And let us contribute to calibrating the lattice, to calibrating the Sophie charts of each and every person who is a part of this connection. And let us also contribute the energy to the earth, to the universe, to the multiverses. Center below, center above, radiate core energy. Radiate the attribute of the kingdom of we, the generosity of spirit. Take a nice deep breath and open your eyes with a smile. Oh, wow, that was one potent session. Would anybody like to share what kind of showed up for you as we went through that energy session? And just look at the slides. I'm just sharing some of the other, what people have said as they have received calibration sessions. And, if this is something that you are resonating with, if this is something that you would like to play with, this is the link. You can, join me. It's www.niloferlight.com/year-calibration. I would love to play with you over the next 13 months. And Would anybody like to share what opened up for you? Press star 2 to raise your hand, or you can type in the chat, or you can type in the Q&A box. Anyone would like to share? Okay, so thank you everyone. I'm so grateful to each one of you that you chose to show up and contribute energy to the earth. Thank you for hanging out with me. For all those of you who stayed with me right till the end of the call, thank you so much. And I look forward to playing with you. I will be sending out an email soon where I will invite you to the call called Benevolence in Governance, and what else is possible, and what change can we be, and what magic can we be to create this change on the planet. So thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon. Bye, everyone.